Hi everyone, welcome back to another video where we simplify clinical research one video at a time. This is a channel where you will get industry insights, career knowledge, concepts clarity, and a lot more. And today we are going all in. We are diving into all the important job roles which are available in the clinical research industry. And with that, I'll be sharing also which skills are important for this role. So you are aiming for the roles, you need to polish those skills. I'll be also adding few of the industry insights and practical examples of what the actual role means in the ground. If you ever wondered what kind of job roles exist in the clinical research, or how can I find the perfect role for the skill set that I have, then stick around because next few minutes you are going to get crystal clear idea of all the roles which are important in clinical research. And believe me, if you stick till the end, you will get the insights. You will never need to refer another guide, another playbook for clinical research. If you are new to this channel, then hit the subscribe to not miss the future content. Grab your notepad, pen, and your favorite drink because we are going to do a real deep dive and it is going to take a long time. Let's kickstart the video with the first rule, which is a fundamental rule. And if you are absolutely new to the world of clinical research, then this is the role you should aim for. That is CTA, Clinical Trials Associate. Clinical Trials Associate is a role which works behind the scenes. You will handle the documents, you will be handling the administrative tasks, communications, clinical trial documents, you will be scheduling the meetings and coordinating with different teams. Although you will be working behind the scenes, but your role will be crucial to ensure that clinical trials run smooth, and this role will give you the insights of the world of clinical research, and you will get great foundation to kickstart your career. Few of the skills which are really important for clinical trials associate role are organizational skills, attention to detail, time management, and familiarity with the processes of clinical trial. I would highly recommend you to get trained on ICH GCP, which is considered the Bible of clinical research, and you will be ready to move into the role of clinical trial associate. For an example, if there is a new trial coming up and you are the CTA, then you will be responsible that all the approval documents which are required to get the approval are ready, they are signed. Whenever there are meetings, you ensure that they happen on the time. You are responsible for collecting the documents, filing the documents in the trial master file. The second role is also an entry level role, which is another great role for you to start the clinical research. That is clinical research coordinator. The clinical research coordinator is the heartbeat of a clinical trial because they work on the sites directly with the patients, doctors, or what we call principal investigators, and they ensure that the protocol is being followed. Every expectation, requirements of the protocol are being met, and they manage the patient data. The skills which require the first one, as you will be directly interacting with so many stakeholders, including the patients. The first skill, which is most important for this role, is ability to communicate effectively. Second, patient management. Data entry is important skill if you want to enter into CRC role. and your familiarity with GCP is an absolute must. This role will give you the hands on experience and the front row seat to the action of the movie called Clinical Trial. This is a great stepping stone if you want to go into CRA or clinical project management role. Let's move ahead and understand the centralized monitoring rules, which are now on the rise. All the guidance documents, including the ICH GCP recent revision, are focused on risk based monitoring and centralized monitoring. The technology leverage and combination of technology with data is a great way to ensure that we have everything in our site, live data tracking through centralized monitoring. We'll make another video if you would like to know more about centralized monitoring, or for any role, just comment below which role you want to make an in-depth guide upon, and I'll be making sure as I read all of your comments. Centralized monitoring role such as centralized monitor. Ever heard about centralized monitor? This role is like detective for data. Instead of traveling to sites, you work from a central location to analyze the data trail across the sites. Sometimes you would be sitting at one place of the world and you will be overseeing and analyzing the data across the countries of the world. The skills which would require: data analysis, critical thinking, proficiency in monitoring softwares, and attention to trends. You need to understand the trend when you see the data. You need to understand the pattern. You need to understand what's the eagle eye view and broader picture of the data you analyze and visualize. For an example, if a particular site is reporting an unusual patient enrollment rates, you will need to flag it for the further investigation. You should have eye to detail. You should understand that compared to this site is showing the abnormal rate of recruitment or enrollment. This role is all about spotting the issues, detecting the patterns, and recognizing the outliers or abnormalities that may trigger or pose risk to the patient safety or data integrity, which are the core of ICH GCP. And it's perfect for someone who loves to work with data. Another role is called trip report reviewer, or some organizations call it site report reviewer. This is a role which is like checking what CRA has done on the site. Because remember, every time CRAs go on a site, they make a report, a detailed log of what they have done, what they could not have done, and what in the future they need to do, called action items or to do list. These all need to be verified and cross-checked against the protocol, study plans, and all the study documents, whether the CRA has gone on the site at the right time, whether everything has been checked as per the protocol, whether the documentation has been done in accordance with the regulatory requirements. Remember the ALCOA principle, the good documentation practice. Ultimately, your documentation will speak louder than your action in clinical research. So, a trip report reviewer is a person who verifies the report of monitoring visits conducted by CRAs. If you want to check the difference between CRA and CRC, check out the earlier videos where I had described that how CRA role is different than a CRC. And also in short, I touched upon the role of CRA and CRC in the video called EDC. We have not made so many videos, so you will be able to find them immediately when you reach out to my channel and just click on all videos. The role of trip report reviewer is great for someone who has an experience as a CRA or understand the operational side of clinical trials, but they don't like to travel more and they want to work remotely. So if you are a CRA having experience, but for some reason do not prefer to work on the sites or to go on the sites so occasionally, then this is a great role because it's a remote role. You will need to understand what goes behind CRA monitoring visits. You need to understand protocol requirements of the study, and you need to cross verify whether everything was done right in the monitoring visit or not. The next rule is called CRA. The CRA is Clinical Research Associate. And as the name suggests, the Clinical Research Associate is a role which is the most important role considered in clinical research. If you enjoy traveling, if you love problem solving, then this is the role perfectly made for you. The skills required for CRA then needs to be project management, attention to detail, effective communication, site management, and obviously the perfect knowledge of GCP and regulatory guidelines. As a CRA, you will be a bridge between the trial sponsor and the sites. Imagine visiting a hospital conducting a cancer drug trial. You would ensure that patient records match the protocol, the data is accurate, and everything complies with the ethical standard. You will need to travel because, based on the schedule of assessment, based on the complexity of protocol, there will be a design of monitoring strategy, and you need to adhere to monitoring strategy and ensure that you visit the sites as decided at the beginning of the trial. You will need to travel, you will need to go to the sites, but you won't be interacting directly with the patients. For you, the source data, EDC, interaction with PI, training the sites, checking everything is going right as per the protocol is the job. The next role is CDM, Clinical Data Manager. If you love to work with data, the clinical data management role is for you. You will ensure that the data is collected during the trial is accurate and ready for the post trial analysis. And you will be working right from the startup, you will be working in conduct, and you will be working at the end of the trial. Your role is to ensure that every data which is collected in clinical trial is reliable, accurate, and in line with the protocol and regulatory requirements. The skills required for CDM role are data management software proficiency. There are so many data management softwares. Few of the examples are Oracle, Medidata, and there are more. Analytical thinking is important for a CDM role. You need to have the data standards knowledge, and your attention to accuracy will take you farther in the role of clinical data management. For an instance, if a trial site reports miss the patient data, it's your job to resolve it. CDMs work with tools like Medidata and Oracle, and having certifications in data management can be a big advantage if you want to go and enter into CDM role. The site relationship manager is the next role. And if you haven't heard much of it, then let me tell you what it is. This is a growing role where you need to build and maintain the relationship with the trial sites. It's less about technical tasks and more about ensuring that the trial sites are engaged, supported, and compliant. So you will be a link and ensuring that the sites are encouraged to do the enrollment, the sites are not facing any issue, and if there is an issue, then you need to resolve the conflicts. You need to be a mediator to ensure that the relationship of the sites with the sponsor, with the CROs, are smooth. The skills which are required for this kind of role is strong interpersonal skills, communication skills. You should be a pro when it comes to conflict resolution, negotiation, and obviously, for all the roles, the requirement is to know GCP, good clinical practice. Have you checked the recent update of the industry where we had got the latest ICH GCP E6 version revised and updated? Let me know if you have any doubt about it. Then let's move to the next role, such as a regulatory affairs specialist. The regulatory affairs specialist ensures that the trial meets all the regulatory prescribed standards, ethical requirements. Imagine you are there preparing a submission for a new drug across multiple countries, each with different regulations. And in such scenario, you need to have the in-depth knowledge of local and international regulatory guidelines such as US FDA or EMA for Europe, ICH GCP, and so many country-specific guidelines. Your attention to detail, your strong written communication, because you will be doing lot of to and fro with the regulatory agencies, is an absolute must if you want to go for the role of regulatory affairs specialist. The next role in our list is a pharmacovigilance specialist. In this role, patient safety is your priority. As a pharmacovigilance specialist, you will monitor and report any adverse drug reaction. The skills required for this role are medical knowledge. Remember, you need to report an adverse drug reaction. You need to have the ability to detect the data which are showing the abnormal results. You should be aware the regulatory reporting criteria and requirements. For an example, if a patient or a subject in the trial reports a severe side effect, it is your job to investigate and report to the regulatory authorities. The next role is clinical project manager. This is a leadership role that oversees the entire trial. You will be managing the budget, timelines, and teams, ensuring the trial is completed successfully. You will be ensuring that each milestone of the trials are on the track. It's a demanding role, but at the same time, it's greatly rewarding role for those who really have the technical and leadership skills. Obviously, the leadership is must to have skill. At the same time, you must have project management, budgeting, and team management ability. And you should understand the regulations and rules for clinical trials. Next, we have a role called medical writer. If you enjoy writing, consider this role of a medical writer. You will prepare the clinical study protocol, clinical study report, and you will be involved in great depth in dealing with the scientific publications with regard to the clinical trials. This role is for perfect for remote work, and many a times it's a role which requires great scientific understanding. The skills which require our attention to detail, the understanding of the protocols, study design, understanding of regulatory requirements, and scientific terminology, which will be frequently used in reports, scientific publications, and protocols. The next role is a biostatistician. Biostatisticians are like math wizards or the experts of clinical research. They'll design the trials, analyze the data, and ensure that the results are statistically sound. If you love the numbers, you have science, and if you know the statistics, then biostatistician is a role for you to go forward. The skills required are statistical analysis, proficiency in statistical softwares like SAS or R, problem solving ability, and data interpretation. The next role is quality assurance specialist. This role requires your inputs and the eye to detect is there any deviation from protocol, from study plan, from regulatory requirements, from ICHGCP. You will be responsible for conducting the audits on the site and so many times remotely to ensure that the protocols are being followed, that each and every process is meeting the requirements of the set standard operating procedures, study plans, and project specific instruction manuals. The skills required, you need to understand the auditing, you need to have a robust regulatory knowledge. Your attention to detail is a must to have quality if you want to go for a quality assurance specialist role. The next role is a role which is now in demand. It is the AI and data analyst. Now, we all are in the AI revolution time. And if you know AI, if you can merge your AI ability, your skill of AI, you can correlate with clinical research data, then this is the role for you. And this is a great role if you want to move ahead in this era of AI revolution. The skills required for such roles are proficiency in data analysis, machine learning, artificial intelligence applications, programming skills like Python, R, and statistical analysis. Wow, we had covered so many roles today. We had covered roles from CTAs, CRCs. We also covered so many roles which are like pharmacovigilance, centralized monitors. We also have touched upon regulatory affairs specialist, quality assurance specialist, and site relationship manager. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, comment on the video which role you want the in-depth video, and I'll make sure that I'll make a video on the role which is most asked in the comment. Thank you again for your time and sticking till the end. I'll be making the videos for you so that you will get the free quality knowledge and value of clinical research. No fluff at all. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends or anyone who wants to get their knowledge polished in the field of clinical research, whether they want to enter into clinical research or they are already an industry professional. And don't forget to mention what topic do I need to choose for the next video. I am Chintan and Pishet, your clinical research mentor, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.